So a few days ago, I was scrolling on Reddit, and then I saw this. And I was like, huh, alright, cool. I did not see that coming, but whatever, I guess. And yesterday, while doing the same thing, it happened again. And suddenly something clicked, and I got really pissed off. And that is why I'm making this video today. I did not want to make this video today. I thought I was going to do something else completely different. But if you guys know me, you would know that I simply cannot stay quiet when I see stuff like this. So I said to myself, you know what? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's check out their videos to get the full context. And so I did that. I watched both videos and I was honestly shocked. First of all, I have to emphasize that I don't have any personal issues with these individuals. I've never met them. I probably never will. I've never talked to them. But they have been making VR content for a long time, and I respect that. However, that is not going to stop me from criticizing them when they enter my territory. You see, PSVR2 is something very special to me. And I'm one of those people who have been screaming for years now about how awesome this headset is. About how people are really not giving it the attention it deserves. And how you're missing the point by not seeing the huge potential that this thing has, if you can help us sell it to the masses. Anyway, I watched both videos, and I'm going to start with the video that shocked me the most, which is ironically the one coming from the bigger content creator. Guys, I kid you not, she's making it sound like she just discovered that PSVR2 has OLED. That's literally how it goes. She says PSVR2 was so uncomfortable for her, but once she tried the globular cluster mod, she noticed all the bells and whistles and what makes PSVR2 special. Now look, yes, the globular cluster accessories are top-notch, absolute game changers, and I can vouch for that. In fact, I keep their affiliate links in the description of all of my videos. Yeah, these accessories can do a lot of things, but what they certainly can't do is open your eyes to the specifications and features of PSVR2. You don't need a comfort mod to realize that PSVR2 has OLED, which is leagues ahead of the competition in terms of contrast, HDR, and black levels. You don't need a comfort mod to realize that PSVR2 graphics and performance cannot be compared to the competition. And when we say competition, we mean MetaQuest. You do not need a comfort mod to notice that PSVR2 has super immersive haptics and an incredibly easy setup process. You don't need a comfort mod to know that dynamic foveated rendering works like magic, and that PSVR2 is actually one hell of a PC VR headset. And what's up with that quote-unquote the games that did exist, I already played them elsewhere argument. Literally in the same video, she shows off Resident Evil Village. As far as I know, RE Village has been there since day one and is a PSVR2 exclusive. You literally cannot play it elsewhere, not just Resident Evil Village. Looking back at the launch lineup, we had RE Village, GTA 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, and Switchback VR. And later on, we've got even more exclusives like Firewall Ultra and Resident Evil 4 Remake. So again, you're trying to convince us that a comfort mod opened your eyes to all of this? Does this even make sense? And okay, let's say for some reason the CMP2 really made you realize all of this, which sounds very stupid. But let's just go with this illogical logic. The CMP2 comfort mod has been around for a long time now, so you just discovered it now? Just like you just discovered the PSVR2 technical specs 3 years after its release? Look, I get it. No one expected Meta to pull the plug on its VR division, except that I did, so you couldn't have seen this coming. And now you want to sell a couple of accessories and make some money, and there is nothing wrong with that. If you're a full-time content creator, that's what you need to do. But come on, this is not the way. It's like me saying Quest sucks every day, and then putting out a video and I'm like, hey guys, you're not going to believe this. But this accessory just made me realize that MetaQuest 3 has mixed reality. Shocking, right? I didn't know that before. But once I installed this comfort mod, I realized that Quest 3 has a higher resolution than PSVR 2. I realized that it has an exclusive Batman game, which is freaking awesome. Can you believe this? I realized all of this thanks to a simple accessory. So please click the affiliate link in the description below so that you too can see how amazing this headset is. Anyway, let's move on to Matteo's video. And I must say there is more logic in this video than the previous one, but still, there is plenty to criticize here. So as far as I'm concerned, the video had nothing to do with the thumbnail. I know YouTube algorithm and all that, but anyway, that's how it is. Literally, the video has nothing to do with the thumbnail. He just reiterated what he always believed in, and that's fine. I don't agree with it. I think there is plenty of exclusive PSVR2 content that he's completely dismissing, which I found very odd. Like, who cares if RE8 wasn't built for VR? All that matters is that if you want to play it in VR, there is only one platform for that, and it's called PSVR2. You mentioned having an RTX 5090 PC. I have an RTX 5090 PC, but guess what? If I want to visit Castle Dimitrescu in VR and if I didn't have a PSVR2, then I can take that RTX 5090 and shove it up my See, I said this about myself. I didn't want to say it to you because I'm a nice, respectful person. An RE8 is just an example. What about GT7? What about Firewall Ultra? What about Switchback VR? What about Resi 4 Remake? You see what I'm saying? Everyone can have a preference, but we have to give credit where credit is due. I don't like MetaQuest, but if someone asks me, hey MBG, should I buy a MetaQuest? You better believe that I will list all the pros and cons of that headset, and I will make damn sure they know about the killer apps, like Batman Arkham Shadow. Yes, I don't cover Quest on my channel, because I'm not a Quest gamer, but I was always an advocate for VR, and I always said I want to see MetaQuest succeed, because if any VR platform wins, VR wins. Just because you have a very high-end PC, a MetaQuest, and basically every VR headset, just because PSVR2 does not make sense to you, assuming PSVR2 exclusives aren't your thing, which, let's be honest, if you're a gamer is really hard to believe. But at the end of the day, I get it. To each their own, right? Still, that does not mean you should not give PSVR2 the credit it deserves. You're not making these videos for yourself. You're making videos for people to watch. People who, whether we like it or not, will be influenced by what you say. There is a responsibility that comes with being a content creator. There is a responsibility that comes with the mic. Am I the only person who takes this seriously? Also, dear content creators, why the sudden interest in PSVR2 now? Surely it can't have anything to do with the recent horrible meta news, right? I wonder. And here's something else that I could never understand. Believe me, I tried looking at it from different angles, and yet it never made sense to me. How can someone not support PlayStation VR2? The VR headset made by PlayStation for PlayStation gamers. Do you have any idea how many studios PlayStation has? Do you have any idea how, if PSVR2 sells millions of units, that could change VR forever? Yes, there isn't much in terms of first-party support, but you need to see the potential. You need to see the bigger picture. You can criticize Sony, that's fine. I do that all the time. The people who watch my videos know that very well. But there is a big difference between criticizing something and pushing people away from it. It's almost like you have an agenda. Because think of it this way. Okay, you win. Sony stops making PSVR2. They're never making VR gaming headsets again. What do you, as a VR gamer and content creator, win from that? You win nothing. Absolutely nothing. But if you push this thing and you actually help us sell more units, then Sony will see that there is a growth in this segment. And they might be willing to spend more and allocate more first-party resources to it. And the result is great games from PlayStation Studios. Everyone wins. Why would anyone bet on Meta? Not even a gaming company, when PlayStation is offering its own product. It's crazy. It's absolutely wild. I will never understand the hate that PSVR2 received at launch. It was 100% unjustified and definitely had a very bad impact on sales. That is why when I see like this, I can't just close my eyes and ignore it, especially since it's coming from VR content creators with a huge following. You guys contributed to the situation that we're in right now, whether it's for personal interest or out of ignorance. But either way, you definitely had a negative influence. I hope you don't forget that, because we certainly won't. Anyway, on the flip side, thousands of people will see those thumbnails. So hopefully at the end of the day, somehow this will have a positive influence. As long as it helps VR, then I will never say no to that. And yeah, that's gonna have to do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and for more PlayStation news reviews and discussions, make sure you stick with MBG.